ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ. ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತೇ ನೌಮಿ, ಶರಣಾಗತರ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ. ಅಪ್ರವಾಹನಾದಿದೇವ ಸಭ್ಯ ಸಂಭಾವಿತ ಜಗದಭ್ಯುದಯ ತೇಜೋಮಯ ಕರ್ಪೂರಾಂತಕ ನಿಶೋಕ. ಅಪ್ರವಾಹನಾದಿದೇವ ಸಭ್ಯ ಸಂಭಾವಿತ ಜಗದಭ್ಯುದಯ ತೇಜೋಮಯ ಕರ್ಪೂರಾಂತಕ ನಿಶೋಕ. ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತೇ ನೌಮಿ, ಶರಣಾಗತರ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ. ಭಾವಭಕ್ತಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಶೂನ್ಯರು ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದ ಸೇವೆಗಾಲಸ್ಯವ ಮಾಡ್ಪರು. ಭಾವಭಕ್ತಿ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಶೂನ್ಯರು ನಿನ್ನಯ ಪಾದ ಸೇವೆಗಾಲಸ್ಯವ ಮಾಡ್ಪರು. ಕೇವಲ ದುರ್ಜನರು ಬಾರರು ದೇವದೇವ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರುಣಾವಲಂಬಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾವನೇ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವನೇ. ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತೇ ನೌಮಿ, ಶರಣಾಗತರ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ. ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯರಿರುವ ತನಕ ಸ್ಥಾನಿಕ ವಿಪ್ರರಿಂದ ಪೂಜೆಗೊಳ್ಳೈ ಷಣ್ಮುಖ. ಚಂದ್ರ ಸೂರ್ಯರಿರುವ ತನಕ ಸ್ಥಾನಿಕ ವಿಪ್ರರಿಂದ ಪೂಜೆಗೊಳ್ಳೈ ಷಣ್ಮುಖ. ವಂದನೀಯ ಪಾರ್ವತೀಯ ನಂದನ ನಳಿನಾಯಕಾಕ್ಷ ಇಂದುಶೇಖರ ಕುಮಾರ ಸ್ಕಂದನೇ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದನೇ. ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತೇ ನೌಮಿ, ಶರಣಾಗತರ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ. ಪಾವಂಜಾಖ್ಯ ಸುಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವಾಸ ಪೊರೆಯೋ ಪರಮೇಶ ಪಾವನ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ. ಪಾವಂಜಾಖ್ಯ ಸುಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವಾಸ ಪೊರೆಯೋ ಪರಮೇಶ ಪಾವನ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ. ಭಾವಜೋಪಮಾಲಾವಣ್ಯ ಕೋವಿದಾಗ್ರಗಣ್ಯ ಮಹಾದೇವ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀನಾರಾಯಣ ಖಡ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ ಅಪ್ರವಾಹನಾದಿದೇವ ಸಭ್ಯ ಸಂಭಾವಿತ ಜಗದಭ್ಯುದಯ ತೇಜೋಮಯ ಕರ್ಪೂರಾಂತಕ ನಿಶೋಕ ಅಪ್ರವಾಹನಾದಿದೇವ ಸಭ್ಯ ಸಂಭಾವಿತ ಜಗದಭ್ಯುದಯ ತೇಜೋಮಯ ಕರ್ಪೂರಾಂತಕ ನಿಶೋಕ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತೇ ನೌಮಿ ಶರಣಾಗತರ್ಗೆ ನಿರ್ಭಯವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪ್ರೇಮಿ
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै। So from today onwards, we'll be taking up this text, Gītā Sārah. I hope you have the book with you. Gītā Sārah. Sārah means what? Essence. Essence is called Gītā Sārah. Somebody approached Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi and said, Bhagavan, can you summarize the entire Bhagavad-Gita in one verse? Bhagavan said, yes, it's possible. Which is that verse? If you have to put the entire Bhagavad-Gita in one verse, which one will you choose? So Bhagavan chooses the 20th verse in the 10th chapter. What is that verse? Ahamatma gudakesha sarvabhutashaya sthitah. Page number 15 you will find. Fourth one. Ahamatma gudakesha sarvabhutashaya sthitah ahamadischa madhyamcha bhutanam anta evacha. This is what Bhagavan chooses. So what is the meaning of this? I am the very self in all beings. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am also the end. What does it mean? I alone am. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This is one verse which Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi chooses. Then Bhagavan thought, this is too like a sutra form, very small. So then Bhagavan took the initiative of selecting 42 verses. And then he gave this title, Gītā Sārah, the essence of Bhagavad-Gita in just 42 verses. What is Bhagavad-Gita actually? It is the essence of the Upanishads, which is that verse which says that Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gītāmrutam Mahat. So if all the Upanishads are compared with cows, then what is the essence of a cow? It is nothing but the milk. And what is this milk? Bhagavad-Gita. So the essence of all Upanishads is Bhagavad-Gita. The essence of Bhagavad-Gita is this 42 verse. It is something like, essence of the cow is milk. Now what is the essence of milk? It is clarified butter, isn't it? Ghee. You furthermore remove all those water content, and then what remains is that ghee. In the same way, the essence of Upanishad is Bhagavad Gita. The essence of Gita is what we are going to see now. Now, if you superficially just glimpse through these verses, you will find as though Bhagavan has not followed any pattern. It is not that first chapter he will take some verse, then he will go to second chapter and then he will take some verse, then third chapter, then some verses. It is not that way. You will find it is a chow chow. First verse is taken from second chapter. Then he takes verse from 13th chapter. Then he takes verse from 10th chapter. There is no sequence followed, if you see. It's all a mix-up. So we may think maybe Bhagavan has considered this as important. He has just randomly chosen it. We may think so. But as you deeply analyze these verses, you will find there is a logical connection. So the challenge in front of us is, what is that connection which leads one verse to the other? This is a big challenge, because I have not found any other commentary written on this. Whatever is here, in this book you don't find a logical connection. It is just explanation of each verse. But the question is, why Bhagavan has chosen this verse in a particular position? Isn't it? That becomes a challenging task for us sadhakas. So if you carefully analyze these verses, you will find, yes, there is a logical thought flow from the beginning till the end. So for the next 6 days, we will be analyzing Gita, these verses, at the same time keeping in mind this logical thought flow, this connection. Totally there are 42 verses. So Bhagavan has as though made a beautiful garland out of the flowers. Flowers are these mantras, these shlokas. He has chosen some of these flowers, and then with a thread. What is this thread? The logical connection between each mantra, that is this thread. So using the thread of logical connection, using the flowers of Bhagavad-Gita shlokas, he has made a beautiful garland, and that is Gītā Sārah. Right? Now if you see these verses, you will also find not only that it is the essence of Gita, Bhagavan has selected these verses considering them to be important, because for a sadhaka, from a sadhaka's viewpoint, these verses are important. Otherwise, we may say all the verses in Bhagavad-Gita, they are all important. How can you say only few verses are important? You are right. But when you analyze Bhagavad-Gita from the standpoint of a sadhaka, what are the verses available in Bhagavad-Gita which can help me in my sadhana? When this question is raised, then you will find these verses are important. So as a sadhaka, these verses are important. And if you see, Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi is famous not as a scholar. Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi is famous as a real sadhaka. He has done sadhana and he has achieved the highest. So when a sadhaka who has attained, who is a Siddha Purusha, through sadhana who has attained the ultimate perfection, when he speaks about sadhana, then it carries an extra weight. Also, if you see these verses, you can find that Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi has spoken as though from his heart, because whatever is written here, it is his direct experience. So these are the experiential verses from Bhagavad Gita which Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi has chosen. Each and every verse, if you see, and if you compare it with the biography of Ramana Maharshi, with the experiences which he has undergone, then you will find that there is a connection. It is something which he has experienced, therefore he has chosen these verses. So because of all these factors, the study of Gītā Sārah becomes important. With this introduction, let us begin the text. Interestingly, Bhagavan has written a Mangalashloka also for this. This Mangalashloka you will find in page number 7. So this shloka we will chant in the same tune as Bhagavad-Gita. Page number 7. Partha Sarathi Rupena Shravayitva Shubham Giram Parthasyarti Haro Devaha Kripamurtis Sapatunaha Parthasarathi Rupena Shravayitva Shubham Giram Parthasyarti Haro Devaha Kripamurtis Sapatunaha. Yes. So now this is the Mangalashloka written by Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi. So what does this Mangalashloka contain? Why is this Mangalashloka written by the by? Whenever you compose anything, you would like to have the blessings of the Lord, isn't it? Grace and blessings of the Lord is very important before doing anything. Because whatever you do, it is only by His grace and blessings you are able to complete it perfectly, successfully. So with this intention, Mangala Shlokas are written. So what is said here? Saha Patu Naha. Saha, he, may he, Patu, protect, Naha, us. May he protect us. Who is he? The rest all is the description of him. So who is that Bhagavan? Partha Sarathi Rupena. That Bhagavan who came as Partha Sarathi. Partha Sarathi means Sarathi, the charioteer. He was the charioteer of Partha Arjuna. So that Supreme Lord who took the form, who took the role of Partha Sarathi. Then what did he do? Shravayitva Shubham Giram. He instructed, Shravayitva, made Arjuna to listen. What did he speak? Shubham Giram. Shubham, auspicious. Giram, words. The words of auspiciousness. So what are those words of auspiciousness? Auspicious words. Nothing but the teachings of Bhagavad-Gita. So then Bhagavan, who took the role of the charioteer of Arjuna and instructed him into the teachings of Bhagavad-Gita. And what was the result of this teaching? Parthasya arti haraha. What was the end result of this teaching? Arti, afflictions, sorrows, confusions. Arti. What has happened to that? Haraha, gone. So another name of Bhagavan is Parthasyarti Haraha. The one who took away the sorrows and confusions of Partha. He could do it because he was Devaha, the Supreme Lord. But why did he do it? Kripamurtihi. Because of compassion. Bhagavan is Murti, an embodiment of Kripa. Kripa means compassion. That Bhagavan, who is an embodiment of compassion, showered his compassion unto Arjuna by taking the role of a charioteer and by giving this auspicious knowledge of the self through Bhagavad-Gita, that Supreme Lord. Now what he should do? Saha patuna. O Bhagavan, please protect us. So in Mangalashloka, you remember the Lord. You invoke His grace, you invoke His blessing. Now in Mangalashloka, you will also find what is the purpose of this author to write this text also. So Swamiji was mentioning about ANUBANDHA CHATUSHTAYA. So in Mangalashloka, you will have to search for ANUBANDHA CHATUSHTAYA. These four factors. Whenever you read a text, you will read only that text which contains something which you want to know, isn't it? So then these four factors are important. What are they? So that is anyway given in the text itself. First one is Adhikari, who is fit to study this text, who alone will benefit from this text. So what is that term which indicates the Adhikari? In this verse you have to find out. You can't just tell some by-hearted lines. It is Arti. So who is the Adhikari here? The one who is suffering. Are you suffering? Then you are fit for this. Are you miserable in life? Then that is Adhikara. The one who is happy-go-lucky man, why should he study? Or somebody who is interested in some physics, chemistry, maths, why should he study? See, there is something which I need, and here is a book which gives it. Then only I will study, isn't it? There is a connection, that is Sambandha. I want something, and there is somebody or something which is giving it. So here what is the Adhikara for studying this? No doubt it is Sādhana Chaturshya Sampati, we don't say no, but here in the verse you have to find out. So what is the Adhikari? Who is the Adhikari? The one who is Artha, miserable. You will find that Gītā Sārah, the text starts with misery only. The first verse is only about crying and weeping. That is the qualification. So are you crying and weeping? You are qualified. That crying and weeping part we will take it up later. So here what is Adhikara? Adhikari? Arti. So that is the term. The one who is miserable, he is the qualified student. Vishaya. What is the subject matter? In this verse you have to find out. Shubham Giram. What is the subject matter? The auspicious words. Now, what are those words which are most auspicious among all the words and sentences in this world? The most auspicious sentence is Mahavakya. What is Mahavakya? Jivatma Paramatma Aikya Bodhaka Vakyam Mahavakyam. So what is a Mahavakya? Mahavakya means Maha. Maha means what? Great. It's a great statement. Any statement can be great according to the scriptures. What is a Mahavakya? Any Vakya, any statement which tells us the unity, the oneness between Jivatma and Paramatma. Any statement is a Mahavakya. In fact, Gītā Sārah starts, the answering starts with Mahavakyam only. So such a Mahavakya is Shubham Giram, the most auspicious. Why is it the most auspicious? It puts your arti, it puts your sufferings, your afflictions, it puts an end to it. Not temporarily, but permanently. And therefore you say it is the most auspicious statement. So what is the subject matter? The subject matter is knowledge of the self. Vishaya. Any spiritual text, the subject matter will be the self-knowledge, Atma-jnana, which is put in another words as Shubham Giram. This is the subject matter of this text. Then, Prayojana. Why should I study this? What will I get? It is this which inspires you to study the book, isn't it? What will I get by studying this book? So, which is the word? Arti haraha, right? It puts an end to all your miseries. Arti haraha. Next one is Sambandha. What is the relationship? Whenever we say Sambandha, minimum two should be there, isn't it? Whenever you say relationship, something is related to something else. So here the relationship is, how is this text which we are going to study, how is it related to the subject matter? Atma-jnanam. So we say the relationship is Bodhya Bodhaka Sambandha. This text is Bodhaka and the self-knowledge is Bodhya. This text reveals that knowledge. The text is the revealer, knowledge is the revealed. This text reveals the self-knowledge. So what is the term? Shravayitva. It is instructing, it is giving this knowledge. It is imparting this knowledge. So thus we have Anubandha Chatushtaya. So who is a qualified student for studying this text? The one who is miserable. So are you all qualified? Have you passed the entrance test? So if you have passed the entrance test, then let us enter into the text. So first verse is chapter 2, verse number 1, which is page number 9. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam Ashrupurna kulekshanam Vishidantamidam vakyam Uvacha madhusudanaha wait a minute, who is speaking this? So that also we should chant. Sanjaya Uvacha. And together. Tam tatha kripaya veshtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Yes. Madhusudana, Bhagavan Krishna, uvacha, he spoke these words. He spoke these words. To whom? Tam, to him. Bhagavan Krishna spoke these words to him. Who is he? Kripaya avishtam ashrupurna akula ikshanam vishidantam tam. To him. Now, who is he? That description is given. In that description, you will find the qualification. Adhikaritva you will find. To such a person, Madhusudana idam vakyam uvacha. Madhusudana spoke these words to him. Now let us see who is this fellow. Ashrupurna akula ikshanam. Ikshana means vision, eyesight. What kind of vision? Akula ikshanam. Akula means blurred by. The vision which is blurred by. Blurred by what? Ashrupurna. Ashru means tears. Purna, brimful. The vision which is blurred by the brimful tears. Brimful means what? The tears are overflowing from the eyes. The eyes are not able to contain those tears. So the vision which is blurred by the tears which are overflowing. Ashrupurna. But why these tears are coming out? Because tears can come out because of so many reasons. There is a tears of joy also, isn't it? Or some dust enters, then also tears come. There can be so many reasons. So we need to know why this person, this Arjuna, why these tears are coming. So the reason is also given. What is the reason? Kripaya avishtam. Avishtam means overpowered. Overpowered by what? Kripa. Kripa has so many meaning. Pity, sympathy, compassion. All these meanings are there. Not only kripa, but what's that? Vishidantam. Vishidantam means full of Vishāda. Vishāda means what? Sorrow. So there is Vishāda, there is Kripa. And because of these two emotions, eyes have been filled with tears. And because of these tears, now he is not able to see anything. The vision has become blurred to such an Arjuna. In short, a miserable Arjuna who is filled with sorrow and grief. So in that first line itself, what has been said? Arjuna is qualified. Right? If this is our condition, then we are also qualified. So we are all adhikaris now. Now, here Vedavyasa Bhagavan makes a subtle indication. The vision is blurred. The physical eye is not able to see fine. Here Bhagavan Vedavyasa is saying, even the inner eye of wisdom is also blurred. Vision is of two types. One is the outer vision by the fleshy eyes. The other is the inner vision born out of wisdom. Here, what is Vyāsa Rishi mentioning? Both visions are gone. Both visions are blurred. And the cause is the same. What is the cause? Suffering, grief. Now here two terms are used. One is Kripa, the other is Vishāda. Why two terms are used? One is enough. Two terms are used because there is a slight difference. Though both of them indicate sorrow, there is a difference. There are two types of sorrows, grief. One is, you are miserable because of your own problems. Then that is called as Vishāda. The second is, you are miserable because of somebody else's problem. Somebody is suffering and you are miserable. Then what happens? Automatically your heart is filled with compassion, sympathy, isn't it? Sufferings are of two types. One suffering is because I have problem, therefore I am suffering. That is Vishāda, grief. Another suffering is somebody is suffering, I am not suffering, but somebody is suffering in front of me. And when I see his or her suffering, then I also suffer. Then that cannot be put as Vishāda. Then you will have to call it with a different name. What is that name? Kripa. In Kripa also there is some kind of suffering, isn't it? Sympathy, pity. So what is Arjuna's condition here? He is suffering because now he has to fight against his near and dear one. Here just fighting is not just winning the war, it is killing. Killing somebody like Bhishma, killing somebody like Drona, it is unthinkable. So that is his grief. The second grief is, unfortunately, they are also standing there to kill us. And I know they love me. I know they don't want to fight with me. But I know they are also helpless. Just like I am helpless, they are also helpless. So then there is a sympathy for them. Poor fellows. They are going to do something which they don't want to do. I know that they don't want to do, but they are helpless. You understand the difference? So there is Vishāda and there is Kripa. And because of these two, what has happened? What is the end result? This is what is happening inside. This is the blurred vision inside, the inner blurred vision. How is it expressing outside? It is expressing as tears in the eyes, which is blurring the outer vision. To such an Arjuna, Bhagavan spoke these words. Now here, what is the name given to Bhagavan? Madhusudana. There also some indications are given. Now remember, Bhagavān Ramana Maharshi has summarized the entire first chapter in this one verse. If you see these 42 verses, no verse is taken from first chapter. Why? This verse which is present in the second chapter speaks volumes. It speaks everything. So entire first chapter, what is the name of the first chapter? Arjuna Vishāda Yoga. That Vishāda is here only. Vishidantam. Entire first chapter is summarized here. Now the name of Bhagavan is Madhusudana. Sudana means the killer, destroyer. Whom did he destroy? Madhu. Who is Madhu? Some Rakshasa, some Asura. In spirituality also, there is one Asura or Rakshasa. Who is he? Our own ego is that Rakshasa. Right? All the problem is because of the ego. So if you can destroy this ego, bas, that is moksha. And how is this ego destroyed? You can't destroy it with any other means. It can be destroyed only through right knowledge. Because the birth of ego is due to self-ignorance, ignorance of the self. So who is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is the one who remains in our heart and destroys this wicked asura called ahankara or the ego. That we will see. Now, there is another meaning also. What is madhu actually? Honey is called madhu. Right? Now, what has honey to do with here? Bhagavan is the one who puts an end to your taste for the world. As far as an ignorant person is concerned, this world is the honey. Worldly pleasure is honey. Everything of the world is honey for him. What does Bhagavan do? He puts an end to madhu and he gives Amruta. And if you want to put an end to this madhu, the only way is sorrow should come from the world. Why is it that people seek the world? They seek the world because the world is giving them honey. Honey means taste. There is the rasa which is coming. Whenever you indulge in these pleasures, whenever you contact the world, there is some kind of joy which you get. It is this joy which is this madhu. So as long as you think that the world is giving joy, so long you will be holding on to the world, you will never leave the world. When do you leave the world? You leave the world when the very same world starts giving you pain. And when the world gives you pain, what is your experience? Your experience is Vishāda. So if you seek immortality, Bhagavan first gives that one, what do you call that? See, before injection, you give some local anesthesia or something. No? So that is Vishāda. Because as long as you think the world is a source of joy, there is no question of moksha for you, there is no question of seeking the truth. So whoever attempts this path, Bhagavan will give measured doses of pain so that you experience Vishāda, so that you turn towards the self. The sorrows in life, they are blessing in disguise. This we have to clearly understand. Sorrow appears to be inauspicious, but it is not inauspicious. It is the most auspicious thing, because the sorrows, there is a possibility that that person will develop dispassion for the world. When you experience sorrow from the world, what happens? Your vairagya increases. When you experience sorrow, your ego is punctured. When you experience sorrow, you become aware of your insignificance. When you experience sorrow, you become contemplative. You start introspecting. You start thinking about the purpose of life. All this happens only when sorrow comes. When there is sorrow, you approach the Guru. You approach the Shastra. It's all happens only when there is sorrow. When there is sorrow, you surrender unto Bhagavan also. When everything is going fine, nobody wants spirituality, nobody wants Guru, nobody wants Shastra, nobody wants God. When do we turn towards Him? You take the story of any Mahatma. Somewhere you will find he was miserable, and that becomes a turning point in his life. So therefore, sorrow should be considered a blessing from the Lord. But if that sorrow is making you pessimistic, then you have lost a wonderful opportunity to rise high. Sorrows will come, but how you make use of the sorrow, everything will depend upon that. In one person, that sorrow makes him pessimistic. In another person, that very same sorrow makes him a mumukshu, a seeker of liberation. Sorrow is the same. One person commits suicide, the other person becomes the most qualified person in spiritual path. See the difference. So how do you convert that sorrow? A spiritual person is the one who converts sorrow to his advantage. Every problem becomes an opportunity. Every sorrow intensifies his desire for liberation. So this is how we have to take sorrow into our stride. Arjuna also experiences the same thing. Now what is the best thing he does? The best thing he does is he says, Bhagavan, I surrender unto you. What is that verse? Together can we chant? Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha Prachhami tvam dharma sammodhacetaha Yatreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Bhagavan, I am totally confused. I have all the talents to fight the war, but now the very same talents, it is not available for me because I am so confused. What is the confusion? Dharma sammodhaceta. I don't know what is right, what is wrong, what I should do, what I should not do. Therefore, Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I surrender unto you. I am your Shishya, I am your disciple. Please teach me. From here, Bhagavan's teaching starts. So that we will see tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhave. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.